This is a workflow. Every photographer's got a workflow. It's something they do. It's something that they like to do. They all have a way that they process information. And one of the things I do is I'm getting a picture ready for book publication. So in some of the ways I want it to be a little bit dark, and there's some things that I'm going to look out for when I'm doing this. The picture composition is okay. It's not like the best in the world. I probably could have chosen a better representation. But here's kind of the thing when you're going through it. I'm more or less looking at the model. I'm not too worried about the background right now because I already know I'm going to need to fix it. I work in a really, really small studio, so I'm going to get a bunch of burn. I'm going to get a bunch of other things that are going to happen with it. So I'm going to get these little spots all the way through. And then the way that I have my background set up, it's just basically a white painted wall. And there were some gaps in here, so we need to fix that. And then there's some other stuff underneath the sofa that I don't like. I don't mind the grimy dirty underneath the sofa. I actually like that, but there's some dots here I don't like, that line, and other things. Generally, though, the actual model itself and the pose and the composition is fine. I'm going to look at the hair because I want the hair to really stand out, and because I'm doing this for publication, there's some things I want to do with the eyes. So what I did is I went ahead and modified the eyes to be a little bit more brighter, right? So that they would actually show up better in print. Right. When I'm working in print, I know I need to do this just a little bit darker than I would normally do it for web publication. So there's a difference between those two pictures and how they work and why I would do the things that I was going to do. If I would do it for print, or if I was actually going to do it for publication, I would actually go ahead and bring the exposure up a little bit. I would bring the clarity up a little bit too, but not as much, and I would probably drop some of the blue out of it. I mean, you could drop all of it if you wanted to, make it kind of purple. But I want to try to get more of those highlights in there. So I would do things to bring out those highlights rather than what I would be actually doing, for a publication when I'm going through this. So what we want to do then is we want to kind of bring this back to where we've got, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and export it. Export, I want to let's go ahead and override it. All right, so remember, publication, so I need this a little bit darker. And then what I would go ahead and do is just go ahead and open it up in Photoshop, because what I want to do is just fix that back end image. All right, so what I'm more interested now is fixing the back end, the color scheme, and making sure that that background is absolutely uniform. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing the color matching that I need to do, and then just go ahead and start painting out all those lines that I don't like. If I need to, we'll make it bigger so I can actually go in, and because this is a kind of a dense kind of place to go, you want to make sure I don't work anything up. I actually go ahead and bring this paintbrush down a little bit just so I've got it in a little bit better position for what I'm going to do underneath the table or underneath the sofa. So I really do kind of want to get one spot underneath the sofa and then just kind of work my way through that. Again, I do want to leave the table leg in there, or the chair leg, so I'm really just more or less interested in trying to get some of that messy lining out, but I do want that leg in there. Go ahead and get rid of that. Then go ahead and we'll clean out this. And notice that there's this ripple of light here, so that's a little bit odd, and then we don't have that same color, so I've got to kind of pick a color schema here that I think is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the more gray one, and then I'm going to go ahead and fix around the sofa where I actually want it to be. But you can see how the light blew out across that top there, so I really do kind of want to just blend it in a little bit better so that it's not so as immediately visible. And then just to make sure that I've actually got, I'm not doing weird stuff with it, just go ahead and kind of blend it in a little bit. So the blending is the important part for me, at least when I'm going through, because the way I did this was with a 2 light rig setup, so there's going to be some extra shadows in here that I'm not going to be able to actually do much about. And then we've got some marks there that we definitely want to just kind of fuzz out, so we just kind of want to take care of that. There's some marks on the white floor that I'm not too overly enjoyed with, so we'll get something close into there and kind of bring that in. And again, I'm not going to be too overly expansive about some of this stuff. It's just more like making sure that you're getting the look and feel that you want. And for me, I kind of like the gritty bit. Because this is a latex picture, you kind of want that whole little gritty part. And then we've got some space here underneath the sofa where you can actually really see that paint line. So this is the haphazard of working with paint lines on a white background. This is why the white backgrounds are curved. This is why a lot of the backgrounds are curved, to kind of go through all those so you can kind of help fix it in a little bit. Just zat that out a little bit. That's horrible. So sometimes you may do something that you don't like. You can always undo your brush tool. Image, undo, image, setback. So I just may leave that because that looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass to fix. All right, and again, I'm not perfect. I'm not planning on being perfect. I am not a perfect photographer. I'm not perfect in anything I do, and I'm actually really kind of happy with that. There are other people out there that can retouch and do good things. I'm just trying to get a picture ready for publication. So I'm really not overly worried about what that background looks like, because I also know that there's going to be another retoucher coming in after me and doing things. So what we want to do is just kind of try to blend all this stuff together so it's not stupidly visible along the way. And again, just a little tidy cleanup thing. So once I'm done, and I think I've got everything all tidy cleaned up the way I want it to be, we want to make sure that we've got it looking about as close to good as I'm going to get it. And again, when you're dealing with publication, one of the interesting things that kind of goes along with that is book publishers tend to print a little bit dark. So you want to have your picture be a little bit darker than normal. And that's kind of part of the fun of doing this. Print makes it really kind of interesting when you're doing things because of the way the print process works. And most of the stuff I do goes into print nowadays, which is nice. I appreciate that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll save it once I've got everything the way I want it to be. If you need to go in it and you are doing something for print, you want to make sure you're at 300 DPI. I've just got mine fixed to that. Pixel dimensions are good. Not too worried about it, because again, they're going to do things with it to do whatever they want. But for me, I'm just going to kind of leave that here because we took care of all the places I wasn't happy about. We took care of the burns on the side. We took care of that paint line underneath the sofa, so it's really not visible. You know, when someone's looking at it, they're going to go, okay, that's what it looks like in print. You know, very few people are going to be bringing it up to a few 100%. Unless it's Facebook, then Facebook will take a look at it and go, oh, good Lord, no. No, all right, so it's all saved, it's all good. But that's basically my workflow. That's basically how I get a print ready for a book. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. This has actually turned into a really cool experiment for us. We didn't plan on our channel taking off the way it did. So I'm really happy that y'all dig on latex and the things that we're doing here. Otherwise, take it easy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.